we're honored to be a longtime supporter of the Pinnacle Awards. It's a wonderful opportunity to recognize and celebrate businesses and individuals who are making an impact in our community so we can thrive. One of our core values instilled by our founder, James M. Cox, is to give back to the communities where we serve. And that's never been more important for us than what we experienced last year. Partnering with schools to offer our Connect to Compete programs, meals to the first responders, as well as in-kind and cash donations to nonprofit organizations to help overcome the food insecurities that we've experienced in our communities. And we look forward to continuing that as we, move forward. What makes me proud, April, is how we were able to pivot and be able to take care of our customers, as well as keeping our employees safe and their well-being in top of mind. We launched apps that were in the future for us, 2 to 3 years in the future, but we launched them immediately so that way we can connect with our customers because we knew the importance of their services to keep them connected to their schools, to their friends, to their loved ones throughout. So it was just really amazing. And all the decisions that we made were made with the employees' health and well-being in the forefront. So, the pandemic, when we initially started, was an unknown. How do you navigate? And with our role, we had to interact with our customers. And how do we do that in a safe environment? So Cox really did a phenomenal job in just continuing to manage the business, keeping our employees safe, as well as our customers. The investments that we made over the years to build for the future, to help our customers create those meaningful moments have never been more important than they are today. We heard so many wonderful stories of our customers celebrating virtually their milestones and holidays. Who would have thought? But it was just an amazing experience. And in addition, really our commitment to our employees and our customers, safety and well-being as we move forward. You had the pandemic, you had the social unrest, the political uncertainty, so many different things all at the same time. But being able to provide the information that the community needed, that we needed to be able to move forward was just amazing. I remember walking into the neighborhood store and seeing the flyers that we had made up just to, wear the mask, the social distancing. And I'm like, yes, way to go. And it was just representative of how you've been able to pivot and be able to, again, be that light in the community that we needed in such a critical time. It's been phenomenal to see how Robins to Go has grown over 17,000 members. And again, just being able to be that conduit to let our neighbors in our community know what is going on and how they can get engaged. It's been phenomenal. April, I don't know about you, but I'm ready to get immersed in 2021.
Happy Wednesday, everybody, and welcome to Emerge 2021. I'm April Bragg with the Robins Regional Chamber, and I'm your host for today's program. For those of you familiar with our organization, we host the Pinnacle Awards annually as a way to recognize and honor the outstanding achievement of individuals and businesses in the Robins region. This year, unfortunately, with our inability to gather in person, we knew that anything less than the gold standard that has been set in the name Pinnacle just wouldn't be the same. So much like everything else we've done in 2020, we knew that this opportunity allowed us to approach our annual meeting from a different perspective. And one of the silver linings is that we're now able to share this content with you, Whether you're in your home, your office, or wherever you may be, we have the opportunity to let our entire community and beyond see some of the great things that our chamber has had the opportunity to have a front row seat at this year. We know that many of you want to share this with your friends, your family, or your coworkers as you learn about the businesses we'll recognize, as well as some of the chamber initiatives we led in 2020 and what our plans for 2021. So what can we say about 2020? Well, here's what I can tell you for sure. The purpose and mission of the Robbins Regional Chamber has not changed. In fact, in 2020, we were forced to be truer to our purpose than ever before in our organization's history. And I am forever grateful that I got to have a front row seat watching our chamber and our community respond to the challenges presented to us. You know, and when I talk about the chamber, I take for granted that people know what we mean. For so many, the chamber is a building or our amazing staff. And I do want to give a quick shout out to Arlie and Tiffany for the heavy lift that they had in helping to lead and guide us through 2020 without a compass. Or perhaps when I say the chamber, you think about our board or attending a big meeting. I think 2020, if it has taught us anything, is reinforcing the fact that the chamber is you. The chamber is our members. It's the businesses and the individuals that are the backbone of this community, going to work each and every day to make our community stronger, longer. It's people like Jay Flesher. So Jay is a longtime chamber champion, community supporter. He works for Flint Energies. He started the Firestarter Fab Lab initiative. He's a member of our International City Optimists. And anytime there's a need in our community, Jay Flesher is one of the first guys you're going to call to make sure that things move forward and are happening in a positive way for our community. And Jay was our chair in 2020. And I honestly can't think of a better person to lead us through the uncertainty that 2020 brought us. So let's bring Jay on so we can talk a little bit about 2020. Hey, Jay.
Good morning, April. Good morning, everybody.
So 2020, let's kind of rewind a little bit. What were your expectations coming in as chairman last January?
Well, believe it or not, my expectations wasn't on the chamber. It was on myself. You know, if you look back, 2018, 2019, there was a lot of momentum building as far as the chamber was concerned in our community. You know, participation was up, membership was up, the chamber staff was on a roll. Just everything was aligning for just a great 2020 and just revving the engines of success. And for me, it was, I guess my expectation was for me not to do any harm. You know, I didn't want to do any harm to the chamber, and I didn't want to do any harm to you know, representing Flint. And in reality, I really didn't want to do any harm to me and my family. You know, I mean, obviously, as a reluctant leader at times, you aren't always comfortable in the positions you're put in, but you try to find out that what you do best and try to focus on those and deliver some good examples for others in our community.
Well, Jay, you are the consummate innovator and forever the epitome of the entrepreneurial spirit. What do you think that our chamber had to embrace in order to lead into 2020 and what you were able to observe as our chairman in that role?
Well, I mean, so you look back at what made 2020 what it was, you know, I mean, roll into March, everything was great. And you had this little thing out there called the pandemic that really wasn't a big concern. And then all of a sudden, you know, in March, man, you got a shutdown, you got small businesses closing. Actually, you have big businesses closing. Zoom everything.
Yeah.
The PPEs, you know, between balancing business revenue and safely opening to the general public. So you had a lot of things that caused people to pause, including inside our chamber. We didn't want to put people at risk, but we wanted to still be connected to them, you know, and those drivers of old chamber business, which is, you know, used to be, you know, our biggest drivers were about in-person events.
Right.
And we had to change that. And I tell you, the cornerstone members of our chamber, the ones that are there come high water or anything else, you know, they stood behind the chamber, never flinched. And I just wanted to do a big shout out to those guys, because without them this year, the revenue and everything else, we were concerned about revenue.
Yeah.
And we did master planning around it. But because of those members and because of the steadfast membership that we had, it never came to fruition. It never came to an emergency landing, which allowed us to be innovative. And that's the biggest thing I can tell you is this year, our chamber, and I'm not going to use the word that everybody tends to use, we were able to change directions.
Yes.
And
no more pivoting. I'm tired of pivoting.
So we were able to change directions and change focus on what the old school chamber did, and brought it in using new technologies and being futuristic in our thinking was a very important part of that. I can tell you, I'm a futuristic leader.
Yes, you are.
I'm grateful for what's happened in the past. I'm cognizant of what's happening going on right now. But I tell you, I want to focus on the things that we do well, and how can we make tomorrow better, or the next day better, or the next month better. And having this having this opportunity with the chamber, and obviously the staff was a great help. As a matter of fact, they did everything. I just sat back and watched and shook my head every once in a while. So, but outside of that, it was a great experience. I'm so proud of the chamber.
Yeah. Well, and I don't think I could have said it any better. And Jay, one of the things that we often don't talk about publicly, because our role is to take care of business and to support business. But you're absolutely right. Those businesses that said, we believe in your mission. We understand that, our dollars that we invest with the organization might not go to exactly what we'd allocated them for back at the end of the previous year. But we believe in the work. We believe in the critical nature of the chamber. And people forget that we have to run like a business too. And in-person events, sponsorships, and membership are the three ways that we generate revenue. And I can't be more proud of the members that we get to represent, the board members that took a chance on every crazy idea that we came out with. We feel like 2020 took so much away from us, but I'd love for us to just pause for a second and watch our 2020 in review, just to see how much we gained in 2020. Let's take a look.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Oh, good. What a great night. Hey, thanks for having us out to be a part of this. It's an honor for Colonel Moore and I to represent the men and women of Robbins Air Force Base. I know we have Lieutenant General Scobie and his wife Janice here somewhere today, so great to have them here tonight.
Many of our businesses have new safety compliance measures. To help local business comply with these new regulations, we designed 3 signs that are ready for our businesses to print and post right away.
overall, the Chamber's been an absolute great asset for the entire community. Whether you're a community member or a business owner, they're doing a great job of connecting the needs of the community with the businesses that are able to support it. And it's a great example of how an organization has been able to adjust during this very challenging time. It's basically an expectation that we all have from each other, and the Chamber has done a great job of role modeling that type of behavior where the times change, the challenge calls for a different activity, a different response, and the way that the Chamber has responded with their digital program and connecting the community with other businesses has been just a great example.
The Robins To Go page has been awesome because it gives people a way that are not able to get out and about to know about other things that are open. It gives us a vehicle to promote other businesses. It gives us a way to promote, especially like if someone's looking for something specific. That page has been super helpful.
The most frequently asked questions are about hand sanitizer and disinfectant.
This book is Miss Twiggly's Tree by Dorothea Warren Fox.
Can you just share with us, is it safe for patients to go back to the hospital, the med stops, or their doctor's office?
It absolutely is safe. I would say not only, yes, it's safe to come back, I would encourage people in the community, if you're having clinical symptoms of any kind, you need to go to the med stop or the ER or your physician, whatever is appropriate for your symptoms. But
the Robins Regional Chamber in our pledge to keep the cheer here this holiday season. Shop early, shop local, and shop safe.
Keep the cheer here. Keep the cheer here.
Let's 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 keep the cheer here.
So Jay, that's your first time seeing it, and I literally can't stop smiling. And it's not because of the work, but the people that we were able to surround ourselves with, either digitally or in person. That's what it's all about for me.
Absolutely. Plugging back into small businesses in a way we've never done before the grassroots community, reaching out to us and us helping them plug in. It was just a tremendous year, and I'm the same way. I'm sitting here, my foot's tapping, I'm moving, because I love what I'm seeing, and it blows my mind that in 2020 we were able to accomplish so much in the face of so much uncertainty, and just proud of you guys, proud of this organization.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. Again, thank you for your leadership. I'm glad that we get to keep you on the board for another year as past chairman, because I really think a lot of the initiatives that we started in 2020, number one, wouldn't have happened without the pandemic. I mean, it created an urgency that forced us to move into a new space that I am so thankful that we're now in. I can't imagine not being in that space, but I'm glad that you're going to be along for the ride to see where it leads. But, you know, the thing that ties all of this together is the incredible people that make up this organization, and our membership, and our leadership. And I know you have a special award to present as chairman, so I'm going to hop off and let you do that real quick now.
Thanks, April. Well, you guys all know that our membership is the main reason why we do what we do, and we're able to do what we do. But you also have a fine group of volunteers that a lot of you guys don't know about. That when we pick up the phone and call, they're there to help us out for so many different reasons. And so, as the chairman, I do have the privilege of taking this opportunity to award a person of our community and one of our volunteers, the Dick Walden Champion Award for volunteerism. And it's so important for us because, Dick was the president when I first came to Warner Robins and got to know the chamber. And his leadership back then, was really in what was at one point the heyday of the chamber and everything else that was going on. And so we really want to celebrate, what he was able to do for our community. Dick served 16 years as chamber president and executive director. So it's so important to focus on that. Well, the person we have this year is a quiet leader. He's thoughtful and quite honestly, he's dependable. You pick up the phone, you want to celebrate a person that will be responsive to you and guide you and provide those services. So with that said, April, I hope we got the video on the other end of it, but let's go ahead and play the video. So that's right. I'm joined by Dale Richmond. Dale, so good to have you here. You are, as I said, surprisingly at times quiet, but you're always thoughtful and really, truly just a dependable leader when we call. And so that's a big part of what made this to me an award and brought you to the forefront for us because we had several things that the chamber had to call on you this year. But first off, I'd love to figure out with you because, you were really a strong, active member with the chamber in the past. In 2020, you've seen the chamber work before. But in reality, with 2020, you had the ability to reinvent your business or try to figure out what you were doing with your business. What kind of impact did the 2020 year have on you?
Well, good morning, Jay, and thank you very much for the award. Well, gosh, 2020 was not only a challenge for our business and other businesses, but as well as the individuals of the community. And, as most people know, we provide an emergency response for property damage, whether it's fires or floods or trauma cleanups and wind disasters. And we manage many jobs at one time. We certainly have 30 to 40 projects going all the time. And all of a sudden, we were challenged with these projects continuing to come in and the reconstruction to come in, and we were having to take, very, very good precautions, whether it was full PPE, where we were in respirators and Tyvek suits in COVID situations in homes, versus going into homes that just had flooded, and we were, very good about social distancing and explaining that to our customers and providing face cover for them if they didn't have it as we went into the homes.
Well, and you talk about emergency response, and quite honestly, the chamber kept you busy a couple times this year. I know that we had water damage, flooding of our basement, and some other issues along that way. But I can tell you that you and your crews were ultimately responsive and gave great advice to the chamber staff. But also, we were so proud to have you back in the fold as far as providing services in helping us make our building and make our facility what it was today. So just a big thank you out to that, and want to tell you that was a big part of what we were doing. So one of the things that really comes to mind is the chamber. Like I said earlier, you've been around the chamber, you've been around the community for a long time. This year we had to do business in a different way. How did you see the chamber change from your old perspective to the new perspective, and specifically, what do you see the chamber doing today that's right?
Well, just like you mentioned in the beginning of this, meeting Dick Walden. Well, I met Dick, I think, in July of 1990 when I first came to town. He's one of the first few community leaders that I met and had the opportunity to talk with him. And since then, with various different companies, I've been active in the community and in the chamber and the community and supporting the chamber. And I've seen it evolve tremendously over the years. I think there's been 4 different people at the realm. And currently, what really jumps out to me was the way that April, with her leadership and the support of Ora Lee, which is absolutely incredible, was able to take a pandemic that was thrown to them, in March, and immediately regroup how they were running it. And then also, putting together the Robins to Go on Facebook. And boy, I mean, it started off helping individuals finding necessities, and then it went on to businesses, helping them to, find the way through the storm. I just think that the whole way the chamber has changed in 2020 is going to be a real positive for moving forward. April is, very dramatic, very, very passionate about the chamber, and just doing an awesome job. Everything from, I don't know if you guys that have been members of the chamber remember in the past you'd get 7 or 8 emails a day, and you'd have to kind of go through them, and how that has gotten down. The quality of the information that we get is better and better. I mean, one thing that comes to mind to me with our small business when the pandemic hit, the chamber, was able to put together some videos through the National Chamber of how we could help our businesses through the PPP program and different things like that, advice on the, instantly what the CDC was recommending, how we could implement that in our business. So it's just tremendous to see how the chamber has grown, especially over the last 4 or 5 years, and changed.
Well, Dale, thank you so much for what you've done for the chamber in 2020. Congratulations on a successful business year for you guys. Congratulations on the Dick Walden Chamber Award. It was so important for us to highlight your participation, but your success, and thank you again for what you've done for the chamber.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the award. It means a tremendous amount to me. You guys surprising me, showing me up with it, and just very humbled by it. Thank you.
Thanks, Dale. Congratulations again. I can't think of anybody that deserves the award more this year than you. So thank you for that and all of your kind words. And I promise that we will continue to make you proud to be a member of our chamber. So Jay, I know, your biggest role here today is the transition of power and passing the gavel. But before we do that, I want to give you the opportunity to make any final remarks as you round out your year as our chairman.
Well, one of the things I want to say, April, is when you see what the chamber does as far as programming is concerned, there are a lot of people behind the cameras and screens and so much of this behind the scenes. having a moment to interview Dell there, I can tell you, April, what you do, you make it look so easy. But it is not that way at all. You have to be so prepared to do some awesome things and keep in mind what's going on. So first and foremost, I mean, I want to thank the staff of the chamber. Like I said, I stood back and would take in what was being said and shake my head yes or shake my head no. And really, truly, the action plans came from the staff. April and Arlie and Tiffany. You guys have done a tremendous job in making this year success. Make this year documented, because of so much we had to do, collect both video and everything else. And I can tell you, when you start talking to people outside of the chamber right now, they say the videos are great, and that is a big part of what we've done is, pivoting. There's that word, pivoting from a chamber that's in person to one that is now multimedia. And so I'm excited about where we're going, but I'm excited about the fact that we've got a great team there at the chamber and celebrate that. The other thing I'd like to say is thank you to a board of volunteers. Our board, they have to show up. I mean, they have to call in. They have to be present. And their advice and consent on what we do is so important. I can tell you that, please, if you think for a minute that you want to be engaged, figure out how to be engaged on the chamber board and be that leader to help guide this board. So I want to say thank you to all those men and women of our board. It was a tremendous opportunity to be out in front of you. Hopefully I didn't embarrass you this year. I hope that was the case. And hopefully we'll celebrate the success and looking back too. So that was a great moment. So there you are.
Yes. So I was going to say, are you ready to pass the gavel? I think it's time.
We can do it. We can
All
do
right.
it. I have it. Morning. You guys seen Shane?
Yeah, he was in the leadership section.
In the leadership section. Leadership section.
I'm just sitting here trying to figure out this whole chairman leadership board chamber thing. How did you do it?
I read lots of books and I just winged it. You got all this.
Sounds like a plan.
This is for you.
Awesome. Thanks, Jay.
Congratulations.
Shane, I don't think that stack of books could have been any higher.
Well, the good news is I read all of them, and they are currently available for sale at your favorite local bookstore. So come make that stack shorter.
There you go. Very good. Jay, thank you again. We appreciate you being with us today. I'm going to let our new chairman take over from here, but thanks again.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Shane. Good luck.
Thanks, Jay.
Awesome. So, Mr. Chairman, welcome to your new role. How's it feel?
It feels, rock solid. Feels like I needed to actually read that full stack of books to be prepared for this thing, but it's going to be fun.
Awesome. Well, I know you've been a chamber member pretty much since you guys started your business, but I'd love to know, is chairing the chamber something you really ever thought about before you were asked to serve?
I mean, originally, we started in 2007, and we joined the chamber because that was just what you were supposed to do. And you also got a ribbon cutting that went along with it. And you had all these nice people that were going to talk about your business and, maybe go to some business card exchanging meetings or something. I mean, we just didn't know. But, the chamber itself was just full of these local business heroes that people I knew at that point knew what they were doing. and that was definitely not us at that time. So I mean, I never really considered being the chair, board member, much less the chairman, until I really started digging in. Of course, understanding what business was all about, trying to make this thing work, and of course, for us, it worked out, quite well. But I realized that the Robbins Chamber in particular is just not a group of, stuck-up suits. I mean, it's a real family of people that are pulling for each other, and we got that sense from day one. Having this opportunity is a really big deal to me. I mean, it's a neat position, but for me, it's probably more about, impacting, the business, the military, religious, the arts community that we have here that I just love so much. I mean, it's a privilege and an honor, and I really do thank everyone who is entrusting me with this. So, but with that said, I'm not going to be the only one doing this thing. I mean, we do have a great team in place, a great board around me that's going to lead us into the future, and we have some new board members, and I do want to welcome them. I have David Danzy, Dr. Yua Igwabadia, Jack Lester, William Milby, and Pastor Matt Walls. And it's getting to know these people. I mean, for most of it virtually these last few months has just been, it's still very clear, even through a computer screen, that we've got a great group of folks here to lead this chamber.
Yeah, it really is exciting just to see the different people that have stepped up for our organization. And I'm super excited about the legacy of leadership that we're building on for our future, as Jay talked about, always looking ahead. And I think we've got a great team in place to help us with that. So there's a lot that we're already doing differently than we did in 2019 and years prior. And we've got some new exciting things to share. So I'd love for you, if you could, for just a few minutes, Shane, share with us what you're excited about for the chamber, and more importantly, for our members in 2021.
Yeah, I mean, I think if, maybe just going back to some of those preconceived notions I had about a chamber, if it's going to be a group of people that just meets a couple of times a month for a social event, the chamber is not going to impact the community. 2020 proved that the Robbins Regional Chamber of Commerce it's far, far more than an event coordinator. This chamber did not sit on its hands in 2020, and I never even take out being a board member, put that aside, just as a local business owner and member, I never asked, well, I wonder what this chamber is doing for my business during this pandemic. And I was certainly, when you hear about, having to shut the doors and go curbside pickup only, I mean, for a retail operation, we were grasping for anything that would give us some hope and some answers when it came to operating our business. But a lot of community leaders were uncertain then, like I was. Unfortunately, those fears did subside over as the weeks went on. But many of us are still uncertain about a lot of this stuff, about a lot of what's going on and what the future is going to look like for our businesses, churches, and other groups that we're involved in. But I think the chamber is the biggest catalyst for outreach, growth, and yes, comfort. As we face these challenges together. And I'm not going to break out in kumbaya or anything like that, but it means a lot to have a really engaged community with just such a diverse population of business insight and background. And that's how a relevant chamber works. It's not about just making the connections at a social, it's not about just the business after hours or whatever it might be. It's about staying relevant alongside each other and doing whatever we can to help each other grow and get through times like these. But we responded quickly as a chamber to the needs of our members at the point when 99% of all the things were uncertain in 2020. But the question, that you're asking, and I'm taking way too long to get to, is, how do we move forward now? We are going to respond once again in 2020 to continue just taking care of business. But, we exit 2020 a healthier chamber because we're now way more versatile. We were forced to reflect on, where are the holes? particularly when the business needs are so vast. And that was what was so unusual. Every business sector or every community sector, healthcare, military, whatever it might have been, the needs were so different. And how about add on top of that, COVID restrictions being so ridiculously extensive, especially for a time there. But we looked and reflected on all this, and somehow the chamber excelled through it all. And I can boldly say that I saw a direct impact on my own business that outweighed any membership dues that I paid. I mean, it was a wonderful, it was a growth time. It was wonderful and challenging. It's hard to put those two together, but there was a lot of growth, and the chamber just grew along with businesses and forced growth, and really was a catalyst for much of that. So 2021, it's a time to not use the pivot word, but we're going to emerge as something really great, just like we were in 2020. So with all that said, though, this time I'll keep this program moving along and introduce, speaking of 2021, our biggest initiative for this year. It is not only going to benefit our member organizations or in ways that I don't think we've ever seen before, but it will make our Chamber of Commerce a stronger organization. We are beyond excited to have Dr. Ivan Allen, president of Central Georgia Technical College, chairing this initiative that we call SOAR. Let's hear from him now.
Greetings. I am Ivan Allen from Central Georgia Technical College, where we are proud members of the Robbins Regional Chamber of Commerce. During these challenging times, our chamber has worked tirelessly to modify its services in an intentional effort to maximize its support of your businesses. Let there be no confusion. Your business is still the backbone of our community. As we all strive to adapt and grow, I am proud to announce the enhancement of the Chamber's sponsorship opportunities and advertising resources campaign, better known as SOAR. The Chamber's Enhanced SOAR campaign is an initiative which will provide your business with opportunities to reach the diversified customer groups you seek. In the coming weeks, the Chamber will be offering sponsorship opportunities for all of its branding initiatives. Your business will be able to gain exposure in front of your desired target audiences. We'll be sharing additional information soon about how you can join me in this opportunity to align your business marketing strategies with the Chamber's programs. I have no doubt this effort will benefit your businesses and the entire Robbins region.
Pretty cool. So I am super excited, Shane, about the offerings for 2021. We're going to have enhanced military programming, promotion opportunities through Robbins to Go, which our members have been begging for, as well as some peer-to-peer resource opportunities that we're super excited about, But if there's anything that 2020 taught us, is that business support role that we feel is by far the most vital one. So that means that you may continue to see changes in our regular programming as we begin to return to some of our in-person activities. And while nothing will ever replace gathering in person, we have learned that we can connect businesses to the people they need to know and the resources they need through a phone call, a Zoom, or even through our social media. So we can't lose sight of our vital purpose. And I think we're 1000% committed to that, which is taking care of business. And I promise you, we're going to keep that in the forefront of all that we do in 2021 and the years to come. So one of the areas that we are diversifying our program is our Robbins Leads, our leadership development programming that our chamber is really known for. It's kind of a bedrock of one of the services that we provide in the community through our adult and youth leadership programs, as well as continuing education opportunities. So Shane, I know there's one program that you're particularly excited about within this realm. So I'm going to let you talk about that for just a moment.
Yeah, it is, brought forward the thought, this opportunity. We just had to jump all over it, but it is a leadership and personal growth book club. We've done them before, but this will have a very specific reach. We're going to have 3 meetings in the spring and 3 in the fall. You see the information about the first book on the screen, but we'll focus on books that will help develop current and future leaders. Maybe you're already in a leadership position. Maybe you're headed that way. But maybe you're interested in just this particular subject matter, because every single month will be a different book, and I will facilitate each meeting. It'll be a time of discussion, questions, and just good insight from folks who have read it and have a lot of thoughts about it. We'll host them virtually starting in March, but just keep an eye on your inbox, and there'll be more information coming out on how to get plugged into that. But so yeah, we appreciate that opportunity again, April. But as I wrap up, my little time here on the screen, and I just want to commend the Chamber on bold leadership as we have looked at new ways of doing things and sharing best practices to our members. It has been it's been a really practical year. I think that's the word I keep going back to. Just a lot of the fluff, has been cut out because we were kind of forced to. And it wasn't a time to just sit back and say, well, let's see what COVID is doing to us. It is, how do we combat this problem and do what our members need? We've got a small team that packs a really big punch. Our chamber staff and board are not ones to sit idle. I've heard and seen for firsthand the staff, April, Arlie, and Tiffany working remarkably long hours. I've seen the board members put in a whole lot of volunteer time over these last few months, and that's just a character trait of what we're all about as a chamber. But you saw the 2020 recap video earlier. We are just a chamber that gets stuff done. That has just been it's been clear. And just for me personally, just being able to chair this board, it's just as a homegrown business owner, you just had no other choice. You just make things happen. I want to encourage the staff to keep it going. I want to encourage the board to use your positions and your perspectives to see what the Robbins region needs from us in 2021. And let's keep doing what we did in 2020, and let's just get it done. So thank you again, April.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Shane. And I'm looking here now, I'm scrolling through all of the comments. We've got so many small business owners in here. We've got others. Shane, I want to bring you back for just a second and see, do you have a challenge? Do you have anything that you would like to share for members of the chamber, for people who might not yet be members in 2021?
Yeah, no, I mean, with this business community, think about the growth that we have and think about the potential that we have in Houston County in particular. This community, for one, get to know all of the business owners that you can. I mean, the times that I've sat down and talked to other business leaders and said, wait a minute, this is going on with you too? Well, how about we collaborate and figure out how to work together, or this is how I did it, and here's a resource that I can provide to help your business make it through these times. But also the chamber is about what you put into it as well. So we are active and growing and doing quite well, and members are satisfied with what's going on at the Robbins Regional Chamber because so many members are actually plugged in doing things for the Robbins Regional Chamber. So we're not talking about dedicating hours of your week, but share posts that we put up, make comments on Robbins to Go. Ask April, hey, maybe you're interested in sponsoring some things. I mean, just how can I get in? Come to the various events. Who knows what events we're going to have in 2021. But it's one of those things that I learned, and it took me too long to learn with the Robbins Regional Chamber of Commerce. I'm not just going to sit back, pay the membership each year and fully get all the benefits that I can. I'm going to grow, and my business is going to get mentioned over and over, and I'll sell some things because I just exist as a Robbins Chamber member. But really get plugged in because we got an exciting group of folks, and we all love each other, and we're all here to make the Robbins region even better.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better. I really think, encouraging people to emerge and engage in whatever way. We've got some members that, are very active on Robbins to Go that we know based on the nature of their business that even when we return to our in-person activities, they're going to have limited opportunities to come and engage with us. But I think that's probably my biggest point of pride in 2020 is just all the different ways that engagement can show up for our members, and I couldn't be more excited. So thank you, Shane. We will see you in our future programming, and yeah, we'll put that gavel to good use. But now I want to take just a moment and pause to thank Cox Communications for their continued support of our annual meeting and awards and the Chamber. We heard from Bonnie Lopez Crow at the top of our program, and now we have a quick word from Cox Business.
It's more than internet and voice solutions. It's how you connect your work to the world. Get 99.9% reliability when you switch to Cox Business today.
Thank you, Cox, for your continued support, and a special shout out to the Party Store and Kim Wendler and her team for making our Prize Patrol presentations extra special. You got to see Dale's presentation, and we're going to be posting photos of our winners for next week's program on our social media right after this program is over. But before I announce our award winners and the guests for next week's program, I have a favor to ask of each and every one of you watching. We know that we couldn't possibly pay tribute to 2020 without recognizing the incredible work of our local healthcare professionals, our first responders, base personnel, civic organizations, and all of the businesses who stepped up in a big way to get us through this past year. We're asking you to send us your stories, your photos, your video message or text, thanking these essential community heroes. Heck, we even have a state football championship to celebrate and pay tribute to. So between now and next Monday, send us a message through the Chamber's Facebook page, or you can email that to info@robinsregion.com, or even just post using the hashtag we've all come to love, #RobinStrong. Video messages should be under a minute because we'd like to feature these in our program next week and also on our social media as a tribute to the Robin Strong spirit that this community embraced and we believe is here to stay. Now, let's announce those awards. First up, the Cheryl Stafford Government Service Award was established in memory of former Houston County Commission Chairman and former Mayor of the City of Centerville, Mr. Cheryl Stafford. Historically, this award is presented to the community's most outstanding elected or appointed employee of a governmental agency. The award recognizes exemplary service in the performance of duty. Intended for individual recognition, the previous recipients of this award include some of the most notable names in the history of Houston County, and this year's recipient is worthy to be included in their company. While we saw many individuals and governmental agencies step up in a major way in the face of the uncertainty presented in 2020 to keep our community healthy and safe, the most notable and immediate response was led by our very own Houston County Board of Education. Under the leadership of Dr. Mark Scott, Mr. Fred Wilson, and the entire Board of Education, the Houston County school system has been a model for systems across the country on how to implement safety measures and provide necessary resources to continue providing quality education to the children in our community. Let's give them a round of applause. I hope you're all clapping with me. So, and then this year, thanks to the support of our sponsors and the outstanding businesses that were nominated for our awards, we are able to recognize 6 worthy businesses for outstanding achievement and contribution to our community. Our business award include honors for business excellence, rising star emerging businesses, our small business of the year, and business of the year. During next week's program, we will interview our 2 business excellence award winners. Our first recipient is being recognized for staying power and their investment to the community. Eyesight Associates has served our community and the surrounding area for 37 years. Their second Warner Robins location opened in January of 2020. This business employs 106 men and women, additional contract workers, and work with many local vendors. Their patients are their top priority, and the specialists available at the practice are highly sought after, and patients come from other states and even other countries to be cared for at Eyesight Associates. Their team remained available for time-sensitive and sight-threatening conditions during the pandemic, and they also adapted to allow for home delivery of glasses and contacts for healthcare workers, transportation, laborers, and other essential employees during this critical time. Our second honoree received this recognition for their outstanding leadership and service to the community. Sunmark Community Bank opened their doors in 1949 to serve the local companies and farmers of Hawkinsville. Today, Sunmark has 6 retail banking locations throughout Peach, Houston, and Pulaski County. The bank employs 76 team members and serves thousands of residents. As many of you know firsthand, this year has been exceptionally difficult for small businesses due to the economic shutdown. Many were reliant on government loans to maintain overhead costs and continue to pay employees. Sunmark's role was to facilitate these small business loans known as the Paycheck Protection Program. And in the first round of the program, Sunmark secured loans for over 280 area businesses. The Sunmark team worked all hours of the day and through the weekends to make sure Middle Georgia businesses would not miss out on these vital funding opportunities. Please join me in congratulating our 3 honorees for next week's program. We will post the awards separately on social media so you guys can show them some love the way we know that you will. Well, guys, that's going to wrap up our program for today. We hope to see you back here for the next 3 Wednesdays at 10 as we continue to emerge in 2021. We'll see you next time.
If I'm having a good time, don't you blame me. Yeah, this feeling I've got's making me crazy, making me crazy. So I'm just gonna drive. I'm just gonna drive. I'm just gonna drive.